What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of MUT Tips. I am your host, Sean Taylor from the Made Up Theater, and we're jumping into today's topic, which is the warm-up game of I'm Thinking of a Word. So as you may or may not know, the cast in improv shows, generally before the show starts, has about a 20 or 30-minute period where they might be warming up. And there's various warm-up games. They're usually energy-based games that are meant to get us thinking in the moment and having fun with each other. And this is a game I'm about to teach you that we like to play usually at the start because it's kind of like a little bit chill. It helps starting to get us listening more. And it's a game that you can even play not just before an improv show. It's just a fun game to play with friends. And here's how the game works. So this game begins with one person who starts off by first thinking of a word in their head that is typically one syllable and has a lot of rhymes to it. I usually recommend open vowel words, words that have an I or an A or an O sound at the end. And they're gonna have a word in their head and they're gonna start off by saying the following thing. Well, first of all, let's say I'm starting. In my head, I'm thinking of the word fly. So I'm gonna step forth and I'm gonna say, I'm thinking of a word that rhymes with die. And the objective of the other improvisers is to try to guess what that word is inside of my head, which is fly. So a person would step forth and they're gonna try to guess what it is, but they're not allowed to say what it is. So for example, someone might come up and say, oh, is it a colloquial way to designate a man? And then I would say, no, it's not guy. And then someone else would come up and say, oh, is it a traditional dessert that you put on a windowsill to cool? And I would say, no, it's not pie. And so on and so forth. And their objective is hopefully for one of them to come up and say, oh, is it an action to soar through the air? And then I would say, yes, it's fly. So that's round one. You have to do it verbally. And this game can get to a moment where maybe you can't think of it, and you can always just collectively as a group kind of say, oh, we give up, what was the word? And then you'll have a good little chuckle over that difficult word that you couldn't get. So typically round two is going to start with the person who got the previous word correctly. And the process begins the same way. I'm thinking of a word. Maybe in my head I'm thinking of the word ear. And I'm gonna step forth and say, I'm thinking of a word that rhymes with leer. So I'm trying to get them to guess the word ear. And instead of using words this time, the cast members are going to step forth and use pantomime. So like charades to try to get me to guess what the word is. So someone might come up and start by going, and I would say, no, it's not fear. And then someone else would come up and go, and then I would say, no, it's not steer, and so on and so forth until someone steps forth and finally goes, and I'd say, yes, it is ear. And that is how round two takes place. So usually after round number two, you rotate back and forth between verbal clues and pantomime-based clues. And as the game progresses, you can challenge yourself a little bit more, use two-syllable words, ideally words that still have a decent amount of rhyming words to them, and just play around with it a little bit. Ideally, this is a great game to start with because it's not demanding a lot of the cast members at first. Some people come to the theater, they might be eating dinner or just kind of like they got off work, they're a little tired. This is a nice way to integrate them into more energetic games. It's just a chill way to be like, hey, let's kind of communicate and have a little fun with this game, and then we can get into the more intense energy-based games. Thank you so much for watching this video, everybody. Once again, I'm Sean from the Made Up Theater. This has been MUT Tips. It releases every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a like, comment below with maybe a question you would like addressed in a future video. I'd love to hear it. Maybe comment if you like my beard. Do you think it should grow more? I don't know. Let me know. Also, we have a new video segment every first and third Thursday of the month. We are going to be releasing new video content. It might be a comedy sketch, it might be an interview, it might be a behind the scenes segment. And also we have a new segment that just debuted last week called MUT Challenge, where we had improvisers compete in a challenge to claim the first ever MUT Internet Championship belt. So check it out. It's on our YouTube and Facebook page. Subscribe if you'd like to be notified about future video releases. Other than that, everybody, thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll see you next week for another episode of MUT Tips. Bye.